You do one awkward thing in front of other people, and suddenly your body acts like you have committed a crime against the entire species. You trip on flat ground. You say the wrong word. You wave back at someone who was absolutely not waving at you. You tell a joke and watch it die in public. For one terrible second, everyone sees you, and your brain immediately begins searching for a hole in the earth large enough to accept your resignation from humanity. Embarrassment is strange because the danger is usually not physical. No predator is attacking, no bone is broken, no storm has arrived, nothing is biting you, and yet your face gets hot, your stomach drops, your posture shrinks, your eyes look away. You laugh too quickly, apologize too much, or replay the moment later while lying in bed as if the village council is still reviewing your case. So did early humans feel embarrassed like you? They did not have school presentations, social media comments, awkward elevators, group chats, or the horror of realizing you pushed a door that said pull. But they lived in small groups where being judged mattered deeply. Every mistake was visible. Every action could affect trust. Every person depended on the group for food, protection, warmth, information, childcare, and survival. In that world, looking foolish was not just uncomfortable, it could threaten your place in the circle. That is why embarrassment may be much older than modern manners. It is not only the feeling of, I looked stupid. It is the body realizing that other people saw something about you that might lower your status, weaken trust, or make the group question you. And then the body tries to repair the damage quickly. Lower the head, soften the face, show discomfort, signal that you know something went wrong. Your ancestors did not need mirrors, cameras, or comment sections to feel that. They only needed eyes on them, a group watching, a mistake made in public, and the ancient fear that if the group laughs, judges, or turns away, your safety might shrink with your reputation. Here is the reframe. Embarrassment is not just a useless social glitch. It is a repair signal. It appears when your brain thinks your image in the eyes of others has been damaged. You did something clumsy, rude, foolish, inappropriate, careless, or too exposed, and now the group has information about you that you did not want them to have. The feeling hurts because social reputation matters to a group-living animal. That is why embarrassment is so physical. The hot face, the lowered gaze, the nervous laugh, the shrinking posture, the urge to hide. These are not random decorations around discomfort. They are signals. Your body is showing the group that you noticed the mistake. You are not proud of it. You are not challenging anyone. You understand that something went wrong, and you are trying to make yourself less threatening, less arrogant, and easier to forgive. For early humans, that could matter a lot. A person who made a mistake and showed no reaction might look careless or dangerous, but a person who became embarrassed was sending a different message. I know, I saw it too. I am still safe to keep inside the group. In a small band where everyone remembered everyone's behavior, that signal could help soften judgment before it turned into rejection, anger, mockery, or loss of trust. So the real question is not why embarrassment feels so awful. The real question is why the body would build such an obvious display around a private mistake, and the answer may be that embarrassment was never fully private. It was a social tool. It turned inner discomfort into a visible apology before words were even necessary. It made the body say what the mouth might not know how to say yet. Please do not push me out of the circle for this. To understand embarrassment in the ancient world, you have to imagine living in a group where almost nothing stayed completely private. The same people saw you wake, eat, work, fail, argue, flirt, help, hesitate, and make mistakes. There was no distant crowd you could leave behind forever. There was no new city, no new school, no username change, no deleting the post and pretending everyone hallucinated it. If something awkward happened, the witnesses were also the people you needed tomorrow. That made social mistakes heavier. If you dropped food at the wrong moment, broke a tool, startled prey, offended someone, failed in front of others, took more than your share, misunderstood a signal, or acted too proud after being wrong, people noticed. And in a small group, being noticed mattered. Reputation was not just vanity. It shaped who trusted you, who shared with you, who listened to you, who helped when you were hurt, and who wanted you close when danger came. Ancient embarrassment probably did not require formal rules or polite manners. It only required a social brain and a watching group. A person could feel the heat of attention when they had crossed a line, made themselves look foolish, or created risk for others. The body's reaction helped mark the moment. Lower the head, soften the face, laugh nervously, avoid direct challenge, show that the mistake was understood. In that context, embarrassment may have helped keep small problems from becoming bigger ones. If you made a public mistake and acted like nothing happened, The group might read you as careless, arrogant, or unsafe. But if your body showed discomfort, the message changed. You were not denying the error. You were trying to repair it. In a world where belonging had survival value, embarrassment was the painful little alarm that said, "The group saw that, now fix the bond before the damage spreads." The evidence begins with the fact that embarrassment belongs to a family of self-conscious emotions. Unlike simple fear or hunger, embarrassment needs a social mirror. The brain has to imagine how the self appears to other people. Did they see that? What do they think now? Did my status just drop? That makes embarrassment more complex than basic pain, but perfect for a species that survived inside groups where reputation mattered. Researchers Dacha Keltner and Brenda Buswell described embarrassment as having an appeasement function. In plain language, embarrassment does not only hurt you privately, it shows others that you recognize something awkward happened. The lowered gaze, nervous smile, head movement, face touching, shrinking posture, and awkward laugh can signal, "I know this was wrong, strange, or foolish, and I am not trying to challenge the group." That visible discomfort can help soften judgment. Blushing adds another clue. It is difficult to fake perfectly and difficult to control, which may be why it can work as a reliable social signal. When someone blushes after a mistake, observers often read it as sincerity, regret, or social awareness. The person looks less arrogant, less careless, and more aware of the group's reaction. Embarrassment can therefore make a mistake easier for others to forgive, and this fits the ancient logic. Early humans lived in small groups where cooperation, food sharing, protection, childcare, and trust depended on social evaluation. A person who made a mistake but showed no concern might seem risky. A person who showed embarrassment was communicating that the group's judgment mattered. Put the evidence together, and embarrassment stops looking like useless suffering. It looks like a costly social signal, painful for you, visible to others, and useful for repairing the bond before one awkward mistake becomes a bigger social problem. The mechanism begins when the brain detects social exposure. Something happens in front of others, a mistake, a clumsy movement, a failed joke, a broken rule, a moment that makes you look less competent, less controlled, or less acceptable than you wanted to appear. The body may be safe, but the social self feels exposed. The group has seen something, and the ancient brain immediately asks whether your place in the group has been damaged. Then the body reacts before you can calmly explain anything. The face heats, the eyes drop, the shoulders shrink. The mouth makes a nervous smile or an awkward laugh. You may touch your face, look away, apologize, or try to make yourself smaller. These reactions feel terrible from the inside, but from the outside they can send a useful message. I know what happened. I am not proud. I am not threatening the group. I understand that something needs repair. That is why embarrassment can be so visible. If it were only private pain, other people would not know you cared. But the display matters. A person who makes a mistake and shows no discomfort may seem arrogant, careless, or socially dangerous. A person who blushes, lowers their head, or laughs awkwardly may look more human, more aware, and easier to forgive. The discomfort becomes a social bridge. In ancient life, that bridge could matter. A small public mistake did not have to become permanent rejection if the body quickly signaled humility and awareness. Embarrassment helped turn judgment into repair. It made the person who failed look less like a threat and more like someone still trying to belong. So the mechanism is painful but practical. Social mistake, visible discomfort, reduced threat, possible forgiveness. The body suffers for a moment so the bond has a chance to survive. So picture a small group moving quietly through tall grass, trying to get close enough to watch an animal without startling it. Everyone is low, everyone is careful. The air feels tense because one wrong sound can ruin the whole effort. Then one person steps on a dry branch. It cracks loudly in the silence. The animal lifts its head and runs. For one frozen second, nobody speaks. Then every face turns toward the person who made the sound. The mistake is not deadly, but it matters. Food might have been lost. Hours of tracking might have been wasted. The group's patience has been broken by one careless foot. The person feels the attention hit before any words do. The face gets hot, the shoulders shrink, the eyes drop. A nervous half-smile appears, not because anything is funny, but because the body is trying to survive being seen. They do not stand tall and insist the branch was unfair. They do not glare back at everyone, as if the group is the problem. Their body sends a smaller message. I know, I heard it too. I understand that I made things worse. The embarrassment becomes visible before an apology fully forms, and that visibility changes the mood. Someone sighs. Someone rolls their eyes. Someone mutters in frustration. But the tension does not turn into a fight because the mistake has already been acknowledged. The embarrassed person's lowered head and awkward expressions say what the group needs to know. This was not pride, rebellion, or disrespect. It was a mistake. That is the reconstructed scene behind ancient embarrassment. Not a classroom, not a comment section, not an awkward elevator. A group, a mistake, and the sudden feeling of being judged by people whose opinion actually matters. The body shrinks for a reason. It is trying to keep a small social wound from becoming a bigger one. Here is the twist. Embarrassment does not only make you look weak, it can make you look safe. That sounds strange because from the inside, embarrassment feels like losing status. Your body shrinks, your face heats, your eyes drop, you want to disappear. But from the outside, that discomfort can tell other people something important. You understand the mistake, you care about the group's reaction, and you are not proudly ignoring the damage. That is why a person with no embarrassment at all can feel more dangerous than a person who becomes visibly awkward after doing something wrong. If someone makes a mistake, hurts the group, breaks trust, or acts foolishly and shows no discomfort, the group may wonder whether they even noticed. Do they care? Will they do it again? Are they careless, arrogant, or unsafe? A lack of embarrassment can make the social problem bigger, but embarrassment can soften the moment. It is a small social offering. The body says before words catch up, I know. I am not above the group. I still want to belong here. In that way, embarrassment is not just punishment for failure. It is a repair tool. It helps turn a public mistake into something the group can forgive, instead of something the group must defend against. The deeper twist is that embarrassment protects belonging by making pride smaller. It pulls the person down before the group has to push them down harder. It turns social danger into humility. It makes the mistake visible, but it also makes the desire to repair visible. So the feeling you hate may be one of the reasons people can forgive you. Embarrassment hurts because the group matters. But it also shows the group that the bond matters to you. So the next time an embarrassing memory attacks you years after everyone else has probably forgotten it, remember what your brain is trying to protect. It is not replaying the moment because it enjoys cruelty. It is using an old social system that cares deeply about how you appear to other people. A wrong word, a bad joke, a clumsy fall, a public mistake. Modern life may make these things feel small, but the ancient brain still hears the same warning. The group saw that. That does not mean the warning is always accurate. Your brain can exaggerate. It can replay a tiny awkward moment as if your entire reputation has been carved into stone and displayed at the entrance of the tribe. It can make you feel judged long after the witnesses have moved on with their lives, eaten lunch, forgotten the detail, and become busy worrying about their own embarrassing memories. Ancient social alarms are not perfect. They are sensitive because belonging mattered. But maybe embarrassment deserves a little more respect than you usually give it. It is painful because social life matters. It shrinks you for a moment because humility can repair what pride might break. It makes your discomfort visible because sometimes the group needs to know that you understand something went wrong. The feeling is not pleasant, but it is not meaningless. It is one of the ways the body tries to keep a mistake from becoming exile. Your ancestors did not need comment sections, cameras, or group chats to feel this. They only needed faces turning toward them after a mistake. They needed the terrible heat of being seen, and they needed a way to say, with the whole body, I know, I care, I still want to belong here. So when embarrassment burns through you today, try to hear the older message underneath it. Not that you are ruined, not that everyone will remember forever, but that you are a social animal with an ancient need to repair, reconnect, and remain inside the circle. The awkward feeling is not proof that you've failed at being human. It may be proof that you are deeply, painfully, completely human.